is Damba Moses, and I would like to use this moment to welcome you to the channel as an unchanger. Well, if you're viewing us for the very first time and you're wondering, what am I getting myself into? What is this channel all about? Well, think no more. For this channel is a channel where we teach three types of teachings. First, prophetic signs and symbols. Next, it is prophetic methods, and last but not least, prophetic teachings. Well, today's topic is all about a prophetic number that is 111, or what the one they call 111. Not 1111, but 111, made up of 3 ones. Now, this number is a number that falls under the category. Regarding this channel, we have got 4 types of numbers. First, the numbers that come in ones. Next, the numbers that come in twos. The next, the numbers that come in threes, and last but not least, the numbers that come in fours. Today's number, that is 111, it falls under the numbers that fall under the category of threes, the numbers that come in threes. Now that we talked about that these numbers are numbers of manifestation. Do you understand? Now, do not confuse these numbers with angel numbers or other forms of divinations. These are numbers that have got scriptures to be backed up with. These are numbers that are inspired by the Holy Spirit. Now, Moses, now you have told us that these numbers are backed up by God and His Spirit. What proves that? Well, in the Bible, we know that number 1 represents for God. Number 1 is not only God, it also represents wholeness. It also represents unity. It also represents other things. But in regarding to this number that I want you to understand from the perspective, from the biblical perspective and not any other perspective, I want to bring this to your attention, that there are verses that prove that number 1 is a number of God, and these are the verses. We go in the book of Isaiah chapter 44 verse 6, and it goes like this. Follow me. Thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the God of hosts. I am the first, and I am the last, and besides me there is no God. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this verse. We see here that God clearly mentions 2 things. I am the first, and I am the last. What does that mean? This means that God sees the end from the beginning. You cannot separate the beginning from the end when it comes to God. And the mere fact that He mentions that, and besides me, or beside me, there is no God, it means that God lives in a place that there is no other God. That place has no access to other gods. And where is that place? That place is eternity. This is where God lives. It's part of the spiritual realm that you and I cannot easily access. Why? It is only God who lives there. There is also the book of 1 Timothy 2:5, and it goes like this. For there is one God and one mediator between God and men, the man Christ Jesus. Yes, now you have understood from the background that number 1 is a number of God, and it's not a number for any other God. Now you are asking yourself, now you've got the chance to see 3 ones all put together. Maybe you're seeing it on a number plate. Maybe you're seeing it on your clock. Maybe you're seeing it in the number of likes on a given post. Maybe you're seeing it at the number of comments that are put on a given post. What is God trying to communicate to you? And that's what we are going to understand regarding this. Now, I want to question everybody who sees these numbers. I don't want you to go around getting excited, seeing them. Oh yes, I've seen the number that Moses talked about, 111. Yes, it could bring a certain level of excitement to you, because at the end of the day, you know that God is trying to communicate to you something. Now, but I don't want you to go ahead and worship this number. Why? It's because this number is not a source, or is not a source for you to worship any other god or the things that God is trying to bring to your attention. Don't go around this number trying to misguide other people and tell them like, yes, I've seen 111. It means maybe I'm special or something like that. It could be, but don't let it derail you off your journey of salvation. Now, in order to understand the meaning of this number, you need to be led by the Spirit. That's one way. And another way is that you need to be a messenger of God. Now that you know that you need to be led by the Spirit, let's assume that you have not tapped in to be led by the Spirit, but you have got the chance to be educated, to be taught by a messenger like me. Now here is where I talk about another verse. Now, if you're a messenger, and if you're sure you're a messenger, because if you're a messenger, you're chosen, and before you're chosen, you were called. And between you being chosen and you being called, there is what we call college. You need to be colleged by God. You need to be taught by God. And these are things that are being taught by God. Yes. And I want you to understand that I'm not coming from a place of out of the blue, or I've not been inspired by the Spirit of the Lord, but I want to bring this to you in the sense that I am a messenger. And the book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 7 goes like this, and it goes like this: for the lips of a priest, I am a priest. And if there is any title that the Lord opened up to me and told me that, yes, Moses, you are a priest, it was through a vision of the night. I remember before I went to bed, I asked God, what am I? And the Lord spoke to me and told me, you are a priest. Yes, I know that I am a priest, but I could be gifted in other ways. So it means that, so let's continue the verse. For Malachi chapter 2, verse 7 goes like this: for the lips of a priest should keep knowledge. Are you following me, child of God? Yes, yes, yes. And people should seek that law from his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Lord. So, the mere fact that I've taken time to understand the law, these are divine laws. Yes, most people know the 10 Commandments and other laws, but this is also a law. At the end of the day, if you see 111, there is something that God is trying to communicate to you. And when you understand what He's communicating to you, there are things you're supposed to do. And within this video, I'm going to tell you what you are supposed to do. And now that you know that I'm a messenger of the Lord, you're satisfied that, yes, I know what Moses is going to tell me within this video is going to be helpful to me. I want to tell you that regarding this particular number and any other number that you see, there are 5 ways to decode these numbers so that you understand the message behind them. But I'm not going to use all the 5 ways. And I'm not going to tell you all the 5 ways, because at the end of it all, if you know something but you are not applying that knowledge is redundant in you, and it's not being productive to you as a changer of this world. Now, I'm going to talk about one way on how to decode this number, and the first way is I'm going to talk about what we call biblical verses or the Holy Scriptures, on how to decode direct references of these biblical verses. We know that the Bible is a compilation of different books or different authors or different messengers of God that were inspired to write them. Now, the way you see scriptures, verse 1, verse 2, chapter 1, chapter 2, some of them were not written like that. At the end of it all, this way of adding the verses was also inspired by the people that put up the Bible. So at the end of it all, you get to understand that our God is an organized God, is the kind of God who, even though he had used messengers in the olden times or medieval times to write these books, he also added those people that put the Bible together and put a certain form of organization. And this is why at the end of it all, they are verses. Now, we're going to talk about the Bible, the biblical verse, the biblical verse where this is directly connected to, and it goes in the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 11. Now, it's Genesis chapter 1 verse 11. Those are how many ones? Those are 3 ones. That makes up to 111. So now you have understood, okay, there is now a direct connection to that. Okay, let's read the verse. And it goes like this. Then God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth, and it was so. Okay, now, for those that have not understood this verse, let me back it up with an explanation. Let us go back and read this verse. Let us dissect it so that we understand what it's trying to mean. Then God said, we know that there is something that God said. Now, you know that every time you see 111 or 111, those are 3 ones, not 4 ones, because that one that has got 4 ones has got a different meaning entirely, or there could be a little bit of similarity, but there's a difference. So in regarding to the 3 ones, you just know that there is something that God is saying, like God said. So you know that 111 is communicating, is a form of communication. There is something that God is saying to you who is viewing that number. And it goes like this. Then God said, communication, let the earth bring forth grass. Do you understand? Now, regarding this verse, it's talking about provision. Remember, every time God provides, there is a lack. Do you understand that? That means let the earth bring forth grass. That means the grass was not there. But the mere fact that the earth is going to bring it, that means there is provision for grass. Do you understand? Do you understand that? Okay. Now, you must be wondering, okay, now this number is communicating something. God is trying to tell you that he's going to provide for you.